Before we start the podcast, we would like to state that the views and opinions of the host and guests do not represent those of the organization and the university and its stakeholders.
안녕하세요, 여러분. Welcome to Aja Animal's very own podcast called Aja Kaja Podcast, hosted by Stay You Make Stray Kids Stay, Nerissa Flores, and
Your favorite pancake, Daeun, where we talk all things Korean from the Pinoy perspective. Get to catch a glimpse of everything K-related such as K-pop, K-dramas, K-food, just K everything in the Philippines. So,
Yeah.
hi, Miss Nerissa.
Hey, it's me again, girl.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Actually, I am feeling mixed emotions because it is our last episode
Ay,
for
totoo.
this season's podcast. Well, for this season.
Wow, this
But
season.
actually, I'm also quite excited because this is actually the topic I was looking forward to the most. And so, here is our Pride Month special. So, this episode will be titled Dear Me, which is all about the LGBTQIA plus community and Korean culture.
Yes, that's right. We will be talking about Korea's perspective on the LGBTQIA plus community, get to know some Korean queer celebrities, and explore queer representations in K-pop, K-drama, and Korean films. We'll also discuss how celebrities break gender stereotypes, show support for the queer community, and the impact of globalization on queer representation in Korean media.
We're here today with our special guest, a 118 history major and the current vice president for operations at ELSU Prism, telling you that butter is out on May 21, 12 a.m. KST, Miss Sofia and Neri.
Woohoo! All right, and for our next guest, she is a 118 BS Biomed Block Cutie, crush ng bayan, and also an advocate of the LGBTQIA plus rights and queer representation in the Philippines and Korea. Daeun, Lee, or Amy. Also, ship show! Woo!
Hello, everyone!
Hi!
So, we'll take this time to ask you guys, how are you feeling? Hello, how do you feel about being here in the podcast? Or how was your day?
Amy, how was your day?
Yeah. Actually, today it's Parents' Day in Korea.
Wow!
Recording date. Yes, I visited my grandparents and we ate sushi.
Wow!
Yes.
Yeah. How about you, Sophia?
It was just tiring because of all the webinars I had to attend today. And also
Ay,
other
true.
academic stuff I had to attend to. Pero other than that, I'm so excited and thankful to be here with you guys today.
Yes!
We are more thankful to have you guys here and, including us in your very hectic schedule. And, Amy has, Parents' Day to celebrate. And Neri with all of her work. I'm so sorry, but, we're very happy to have you guys here. So I hope you guys have fun and we'll have such meaningful discussions for today.
Yan. Okay, so before diving straight into the topic, of course, hindi natin ito papalagpasin. We're going to have our last mini game for now. So, Dana, anong mechanics?
So today, our scriptwriters prepared something weird and funny for us. This game is originally from Running Man, one of the best variety shows in Korea, and it's called the Nonsensical Quiz. Basically, you just have to answer the questions in a way that's not answering them at all. So if I ask you, for example, what did you do for school today? And you answer with the sky is purple. So that means it doesn't make sense, right? So that means it's acceptable and you get a point for the game. But a wrong example or what wouldn't be acceptable is if, for example, I asked you what is your role model and you answered with poop. Technically, this is still wrong because poop can still be a role model. So another example is who are you? And then you answer with I am sleepy. It's still technically wrong. It wouldn't be accepted because it's still answering the question correctly. So yeah, because your name could be Sleepy, right? So,
Well, you must answer 3 questions in the span of 5 seconds. Grabe yung 5 seconds. Ang iksi naman nun. Meaning, you must answer every question lightning fast.
So, just a disclaimer, since it's gonna be hard for us to assess and to remove all biases, to assess whether the answer is correct or not, we have our project heads and scriptwriters here in our Zoom chat and will help us determine if it's an acceptable or not an acceptable answer. So,
All right. So for this game, I guess, Dana, you can ask me 3 questions and I'll ask 3 questions to you. Sophia, you ask 3 questions to Amy, and then Amy 3 questions to you. Kaya,
alright.
are you guys ready? All right. Who's gonna start this off? Oh my
I'll
god.
probably lose again, so I don't know if I'm gonna even try anymore.
Oh yeah, what's the penalty for today? I wanna ask the guests. Guests, do you want any penalties for today? May naisip ba kayo? Wala. Well, kung wala, we're going to have another egg yo. Yay!
Oh my god.
Okay, so whoever loses this game will do another egg yo. Yay! Okay. So good luck to our guest and to you, Dana. Sana,
I hate that
I
this
hope
is
I have
directed.
this winning streak again. Okay.
This is season finale, so let's see what happens.
Okay. All right. So, who's gonna go first? Do you want the guest to go first, or do you want us to go first, Dana?
I want the host to go first.
Okay,
Alright.
Amy wants to
Okay.
have the host first. Ayan.
Okay.
Okay, Amy. Your wish is our command. Okay, Dana. Sino sa atin?
Oh my god. I'll go first.
Alright. So, wait. You have to ask me questions?
I'll
or?
ask you. I'll ask you.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Wait. Let me release my inner nonsense mind, My nonsense brain. Okay. Hit me when you're ready.
Okay, game. First question. Who is Han's baby?
Google Docs.
What will you be buying next? Wait, hold on.
Oh! Come on. Tuloy lang.
Wait, hold on first. Who is Han's baby? I'm sorry, but our jury, what can you say about that? They said G-Docs.
Ay,
Technically, G-Docs can be anyone else's baby, like especially if you're a DLC student, like Google Docs. Is
Okay,
my
let's just
baby.
try to make some sense to it. Okay, Dana.
Wait, okay, but I have to see if you're gonna get any more wrong. Like, for example, if I get anything wrong.
Okay,
I'll
tuloy
see.
lang.
Okay, so, second question. What will you be buying next?
Sana masarap ang ulam ko. Oh! Wait a minute! This is so hard,
Wait.
Why is everything making
They're all laughing.
sense?
They're all laughing.
Oh, guys.
Okay, last-
I don't want
last
this
one,
game
last one,
anymore.
last one.
Okay, go.
What do you love more than Stray Kids?
Oh, wait.
Or what?
Dang.
You got it all
Oh
wrong.
my gosh. Okay, it's okay. I accept it. Since this is the season finale, I'll do an AQ later.
It's okay.
Okay.
I feel like I won't be getting anything right.
I feel like every one of us will get it right. Anyways, okay, Dana, ikaw naman. Okay, are you ready? Pinagpapawisan na yung guests natin. Yes, guys, you'll do this later and we'll have to do Agyo then as well. Okay, good luck. Okay, Dana, ready?
No, but okay, go ahead.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. What's your comfort food?
Stream Apple by G-Friend.
How old is your dog?
The cake is round.
Anong ginagawa mo?
Our Marshall from Animal Crossing is my favorite character.
Oh!
Did I actually do it?
Oh!
Redemption arc.
Well,
Oh my god, guys.
look how the turning tables, Dana. Iba na
Everyone is
talaga.
congratulating me. Thank you, guys. If you
Ay, bakit
watched
ako nung
all the
nanalo ko,
episodes.
hindi niya ako kinongratulate? Mga hayop kayo.
Because this is very meaningful.
I'm sorry, nasabi ko hayop. Okay, cut that. Okay. Okay, so, ayan na nga, nanalo na nga si Dana. Finally, well, okay. Let's move on to our guest. Ready na ba kayo, Sofia? Amy, sino muna sa inyo? Who wants to go first?
Do you want me to ask you first, or I'll ask, or you'll ask me first?
Uh, sige, ask me first na lang.
Okay, okay. So,
Wait. Okay.
okay, let's go. Let's go. My
Yeah.
first question: what are you doing right now?
Oikawa is my husband.
Okay. How did the chicken cross the road?
My laptop is dusty.
Where do you want to meet the love of your life?
I like eating coffee. Does this make sense? Is it okay?
Did that make sense? Ano, jury, what do you say?
We're getting mixed answers from the jury.
Huwag kayong favorite dito ha. Kayo. Don't make me do this alone.
Guys, hi.
Kailangan ko ng karamay. Hello, jury. Ano? Is that a okay or is that a not okay?
Okay, I'm seeing. Okay. It's getting a pass.
Okay, fine.
Wait. Someone is trying to but she might want to meet her future in a coffee shop.
Oh!
Wait, but
Ah!
coffee can be anywhere, like at home, convenience store, or like on the street.
Well,
Alright, okay. So let's see. I guess since this is pretty questionable, we'll kind of give it like half, like it's a pass and it's also not a pass, and depending on how Soph will be doing for her round, then we'll see who will be doing the aegyo. Or do you want to give her another question?
I have one more.
Okay.
grabe ka, Dana, pa-play safe ka ha. Bakit ako wala kang ganon?
Last and final question, Miss Amy. What's your favorite color?
I have no money in BTO.
Oh, shit.
That's,
Oh, shit.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's a pass.
Yeah.
Okay.
Miss Sophia.
Okay, are you ready?
No, but okay.
Sige. Yeah, I'm gonna go now. Okay. What did you do this morning?
Let's go topple the patriarchy.
What do you think about DLSU?
Wait.
There is web.
Wait. Wait, the first question though.
Okay, may karamay na ako! Yay! Ganyan talaga pag Neri, Sofia.
Soulmate.
Okay, continue. Hey! Oh, sorry. Okay, continue.
Okay. So the last question is, who is your favorite K-pop group?
The ground is grounded.
No?
This kind of sounds like a name of a group.
I know. It does though.
Oh my
Oh.
god.
I like how defensive Amy is.
Yeah, I know, right? She really wanted me to do the aegyo.
Yeah. It's
Alright.
okay. We accept our fate.
So our two Neris are gonna be doing aegyos for
Okay.
today.
Oh, since we have a Korean here, Amy, do you have a request kung what aegyo do you want us to do?
Ooh, wait.
I'm
Can
so
you-
manande.
Can you do you know in Fight My Way, Era's Aegyo?
Era?
Yeah.
Ah, wait!
Let's go, Miss Nerissa. I'll follow your example.
Paano na nga ba yun? Wait, I forgot. Wait, I'm just gonna play. I'm gonna look for it first.
Yeah. You can just do the last sentence naman with the expression, of course.
Ano yun? Punso ka ng dianira. Pagito ng tunde. King! Okay. I'm ready. Okay, I'm ready. So, gamanya, tashimanyo. Okay, ready na. Okay, count for me.
3, 2, 1, go.
나는 예쁜 척하는 게 아니라 예쁘게 떠는 건데. I hate y'all for making me do this. I'm so sorry, Dad. I know you're listening to my podcast right now.
I am speechless.
This is how I live, Dad. It wasn't even on point, but like, okay, I tried. Okay, ikaw naman, Neri.
Oh my god. I'm gonna butcher this so hard because I don't know how to speak. But I will
Okay, go.
try. Oh my god! Okay. 1, 2, 3. 나는 예쁜 척 하는 게 아니라 예쁘게 하는 게.
Taray!
Oh my
Pass!
god! No,
Pasado.
you got that. Like,
You got the tone
that's so
right.
nice. Ang cute!
You know, hindi talaga ako bagay maging artista, so I'm sorry. Okay, anyways. Ayan, I guess our guest enjoyed today's game. And kita naman sa jury natin na nag-enjoy din sila kahit hindi nila ako pinagbigyan. Anyways, okay. And I guess that ends our mini game, and now we're going to move on to the content.
Again, we would like to reiterate that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not represent those of the organization, the university, and its stakeholders.
Alright, so for our first topic, South Korea has been viewed as a highly conservative country. According to an article by the Chicago Council on Global Affairs, the stigma towards the LGBTQIA community in South Korea is not new. Majority of South Koreans remain uncomfortable with homosexuality, and anti-LGBT groups are still prevalent in their country. But there has been an increasing trend towards acceptance.
So despite the negative views of South Koreans towards homosexuality, the queer community still finds a way to express themselves. So, much like any Asian country, I know you guys are not, we're no stranger to this. And coming from a very conservative history, there's still a long way for us to go beyond just tolerance and through acceptance. And this is seen especially in South Korea. So we'd like to hear our guest's thought.
Yeah, so is it okay if I start? Yeah, so actually the drag queen community in Korea had been controversial, like this issue among different groups of people, because actually they got praised before in certain communities, also from feminists, because they destroy the gender stereotype, like male can also dress up in this way, and they don't display like typical masculinity that society requires them to. So they had been supported before, but after some time, certain groups started going against them because they have been accused for displaying gender stereotype that society forces on women, as in having a long hair and wearing a makeup. Because usually drag queen, it's usually like male dressing up as a woman, ganyan, for their looks. And what they are saying that having a long hair and a makeup cannot make you woman, as in they're not trying to be mad like you can't be a woman, but they don't have to have a long hair and heavy makeups to express themselves as women, ganyan.
Like
Yeah.
understanding from that perspective of feminists, it's basically saying that these men dressing up as women is like somehow reinforcing that like the beauty standards of women in Korea, which is also pretty controversial, like on how women should look like or how women should act like. And although it's also important for these the drag community to be able to express themselves, there's also you can't help but also like recognize the problem that these feminists are also bringing up.
So, yeah, speaking of what Amy said, to give a background to our viewers, so actually, drag queen 11 years ago was something unfamiliar, and even gay culture people were skeptical about their intention to dress up as women. But now, drag queen is seen as a way of self-expression. But then, what happens in Korea, like what Amy mentioned, is there's still a lot of what do you call this? Controversies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ikaw, Dana, what's your thought on this?
You know, in Itaewon actually, Itaewon is a place wherein the culture has laid down its roots and is considered as a place where drag queens feel most comfortable walking with other queens. And I agree with Sophia. And you know, the drag community is a very important actually sector of the community that would give proper representation for the LGBT community to actually express themselves. It has been around for a long time. It's older than us. So, you know, the drag community is important, but at the same time, there is also another side. You know, the feminists also do make a good, um, they have a point when it comes to, you know, that we're not just this appearance, you know, we're not just the feminine side. Like, women can also perceive themselves as androgynous, and we can't just keep portraying ourselves in a way that, you know, the common misconception that we have to have long hair, or we have to have makeup all the time, or we have to look more soft. You know, that's usually the conception. So we can see both sides for this. Sorry.
Yeah.
We can see both sides on this one. And
Mm.
actually, our researchers also gathered some viewpoints from drag queens from South Korea. So I think this is something that is worth note reading. So one of them actually said that drag seemed like a medium that allowed the expression of another version of myself that's kept inside, which appealed to me and pushed me forward with participating in drag. And another narrative was, I see my drag character as hope, whether it's drag or some other thing that you only dreamed of, just give it a try, it will change your life. And another would be, drag was a perfect form for me to break the rules and prove there's no such limit of what and how to act, wear, do, or talk for being who you are. So you do you and I'll do me. So that has been the message of the drag community for so long. And you know, for LGBT community, we've always been about expressing ourselves in the way that we want to. And you know, the message comes clear that it is like that. It's we're basically just expressing ourselves, and we're not really thinking about anything. This is just how we are, and where we feel most like ourselves. But again, I'd like to give the floor to our guest as well, and Nerissa, if you would like to say anything else about the matter.
Ayon.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Neri, do you want to go?
Okay. Yeah, so to bounce off along with what Dana has said, it's really important to highlight the importance of the drag community when it comes to representing the LGBT community itself, and in like pushing forward with with our rights as, you know, members of the community. Because if without them, they are basically the foundation of like how we have perceived ourselves and how we are able to express ourselves. Because like more than just trying to like be as authentic as we have to like how other people should see us. It's also important that we in ourselves like are aware on how we want to be presented and how we want to be identified as.
Okay, so it was we know that it was a drag queen that first drew the first punch during the Stonewall riots, and it's a very big deal because that really started, you know, the whole Pride movement. And as we all know, Pride has been and always has been, will be a protest. So it's important, and I hope that, at least for me, like what I can get from this matter is, I hope that, you know, the feminists and also the LGBT community would be able to come to terms and meet in the middle, because both communities are pretty, you know, we've seen the oppression for both sides. And I hope that in South Korea at least, I hope that they'll be able to come together and know that this is a fight for the two sectors. You know, that's what I think about the matter.
Speaking of pride, I have a question for Amy. Amy, are you in
Yeah.
Korea ba right now?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. So since Dana mentioned na Itaewon is open. Actually, I've been to Itaewon na. And
Oh.
my Korean friend, took me to
Yeah.
like the deeper, because you know Itaewon is about bars, right? And there's a lot of
Yeah.
shopping places there. But then if you
Mhm.
go deeper into like those bars, there's a lot of
Yeah.
clubs actually for LGBT
Mm.
Are you aware of
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I am.
So are you...
Yeah.
Okay, go. Do you want to share something?
Oh no, because actually there had been like lots of conflicts about LGBTQA community last year because of COVID. Since in one of the clubs in Itaewon, I think it was a queer club,
Mm-hmm.
like COVID broke out, so everyone like it got revealed in the article, and they highlighted that it was about like this club is gay club kanyan.
Oh, dagdag.
Yeah.
Mm.
So there had been lots of conflicts about that, but yeah, can you proceed?
Okay, was there a history of LGBT celebrations outside that area during like Pride months, for example? Or you're not?
Yeah, actually, we have Pride Parade.
Okay.
Yeah, every year in Seoul. Pero the problem was we have pandemic right now, so we couldn't gather. So I know that last year we did a campaign on Instagram, like hashtag, and you can make your own character, like holding a rainbow flag.
Oh, that's
And
cute.
use the hashtag. So when you enter the hashtag and see the people there, it looks like you're having a parade talaga because the roads get connected.
That's actually new
Yeah.
information from me. Because
Anyway.
I thought lang in personal lang. I thought Korea, when they said na they're conservative in terms of LGBT, I thought it was like really secluded, like bawal. I can't, like people shouldn't see it outside. Yeah, in Korea.
Pero yeah, yung parade is really like a festival-ish thing. So there are also groups that oppose the LGBTQA groups in the parade. But yeah, like my friend explained that because I wasn't able to go there last year since I was in the Philippines. But my friends who went there really enjoyed it. Like even if some of them weren't really part of the community, like they're just supporters lang. It's like, oh yeah, also like the drag queens are there and they're usually on the top of the cars, which
Wow.
leads the parade, and it's very fun now.
I wanna go tuloy. Parang I wanna, okay, Amy, see you in Korea during Pride Month.
Let's all gather there once this
Oh, I kind of
hellstorm
want
is
to do
over.
that. All right.
MG.
Okay, so that's new information to everyone, especially to our listeners. Now, aside from drag culture, let's move on to the next, I guess. So, YouTube has become a platform for LGBTQ plus couples to freely express themselves. In South Korea, there's a YouTube channel called Channel Kim Chol-soo. It was started by a guy named Kim Chol-soo in 2016. His boyfriend, Sun Jang-ho, later joined in, and today the channel boasts around 200,000 subscribers. Wow! And the YouTube channel that has been providing a safe online space primarily for Asian LGBTQ plus community. They also have a video playlist titled Coming Out Page, which encourages LGBTQ individuals to come out and be themselves online. Now, the playlist consists of videos of various individuals coming out and sharing their stories, even people outside Korea, like Philippines, the US, Australia, and Switzerland. Wow! Do you guys know about this? Are you guys aware of this
I
channel?
didn't know that there was a video playlist.
Oh, well, now we know. So what are your thoughts about the YouTubers who, especially the Korean YouTubers who
Yeah.
not try but come out using YouTube as a platform?
I'm actually fan of some of these YouTubers. Like, I'm not sure if you know them, but there are these YouTubers called Tanhana, and
I
they
I think I follow one. I think it's Mango Couple,
They're
if I'm not mistaken.
Mango Apple. I'm not sure. about
Mango
that, but-
Mango Couple. I don't know. But
Mango Couple.
yeah. Yeah.
I thought Apple. Okay. They're like girl to girl couple. Pero I think their subscribers are around like 576K na.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's usually about their love life talaga. Like, we played this game together and I bought a car for my girlfriend or like I did this event. But it's really casual and I enjoy watching it then. It makes me feel so and even my friends who are hetero, they also like watching this channel because it makes them feel peaceful and it's so nice to watch them.
That's true. I also subscribe to other channels as well. The Korean YouTubers, who are
Yeah.
there was this I think there was this I can share you one video that I've watched before. It was same with Amy. They do their lifestyle videos about their lives and yeah. And then there was this one part of the video that I've watched. It was like they were walking in the dark and then they were showing it in the video. Like it was pitch dark black. Dark. Pitch dark. But then it was when the guy, I forgot their names, the guy they held hands, him and his boyfriend, and then his boyfriend was like, no, you shouldn't do that because people are looking. But he was answering like, oh, it's okay, we're a couple, so why does that matter? And I'm like, oh, best boys. Yeah. And yeah, I can relate to Amy's friends as well. It's comforting and it's really nice to see people, expressing themselves, showing themselves on how their life is, even though, you live in a conservative country. So, yeah.
And also, can I add one more?
Go, Amy, go.
Because I also like this YouTuber named Josong. Like, I
I
think she first started with like talking about her stories with her girlfriend and how it was coming out to her friends and family. And I think nowadays she does like Q&A section, not like a Q&A section, but when somebody sends her like, oh, this happened, what should I do? Then she gives her like advices or like goes like, oh no, break up with your girlfriend, get a new girl, ganyan. And I think it's really nice since like in other YouTube channels, it's usually all about like hetero couples and they usually send in their worries, but like this kind of channel also for queer couples is helpful to the community, I guess, and yeah, makes the topic more casual. Like it's everywhere. It's not a special case, but they're all there like that.
Yeah, I completely agree. Because like having these YouTube couples like be broadcast out there in YouTube gives like the community more of like a safe space for everyone. Like it's not just like because like growing up we didn't have these like big names out there, someone to look up to. So I guess like with like ordinary people broadcast their stories out there, they'd see or like they'd hear now, oh, it's not just me, like other people are also experiencing the same thing as I have and are also like in love just as I have been, something like that.
Yeah, and the thing about having these kinds of proper representation in actually that's the thing. Having these, like the users, like the channels themselves, they're the ones like it's not curated content like in YouTube or in social media. They are in charge of the content that they produce. Like not if it's for example a more broad range of media, like for example in TV shows, it would be a lot more censored. Like there would be a lot of censorship. So the thing about having like YouTube, which is a lot more of reach and they are free to just show whatever they want to show to the world, that is I'm glad that there's that kind of platform for the community to be able to really show and represent themselves in the way that they want to, and they won't have to use like any kind of shock effect or shock factor just to right, so they don't have to make anyone like happy, or they don't have to change things about themselves just so that they would be accepted as an acceptable form of media, kind of like that. So I guess that's the thing that I like about I mean, I don't have any YouTubers right now from Korea that I know that are part of the community that but because of this I might check it out.
Yes,
and
time
I'm
to
just glad that
follow.
it's there. I'm glad
Time to
it's-
follow Dana.
I
Ayan.
will.
Can I add one more, like
Go
one last?
ahead.
Go, Amy, go,
I mean,
go. Labas mo na.
this might not be about YouTuber, pero I really agree about the way you said it. Like, it suggests a new way. And also, yung conflict, kasi usually on TVs and, like, programs, they usually shows, like, LGBTQ people, like, suffering, having internal conflicts, like, oh, what should I do? But this isn't on YouTube, but I listened to one of the podcasts, like, where a queer writer, like, appeared as a guest. And, like, her story surprised me because the way that she realized that she was a lesbian was, like, she got teased during the high school days. Like, hey, did you know, like, guys call you lesbian? And she was like, yeah, I think so. Then she just accepted it that way. She's like, yeah, I think I'm lesbian because I don't really like guys. I like girls. And, yeah.
Cute.
It's really cute.
Right?
It's nice.
So, yeah.
Oh, diba?
I like the stories then. Like, there are also these sides without, like, long internal conflicts and...
True, true.
Ayan.
Ayan. Oh, diba? Look at Amy. She's
Just
figuring
wanted
it
to
all
say
out.
it.
It's fine, Amy. It's good content. All right. So speaking of out couples on YouTube, I guess we can open this topic, and I guess everyone is aware of what this is. Let's talk about the shipping culture in Korea, most especially in K-pop. Dana?
Yeah.
Yes. Generally speaking, shipping is what we all know as, pag sinasend yung packages natin from Shopee. Char! But in the K-pop scene, shipping means hoping for a certain pairing to have a relationship. For most K-pop fans, the shipping of idols, whether boy to girl to girl, and boy to boy, is very common in the fandom. And the often asked question here is, why are Korean fans so accepting of shipping their favorite K-pop stars but are so repulsed at the idea of homosexuals in real life?
Oh, it's very specific. Korean fans. Amy, are you a fan of any K-pop group?
Yeah.
Oh, so baka you wanna mention or you wanna make it
Oh.
general? Anyway, any.
I like Taemin right now.
Who? Kevin
Yeah.
from.
From Shiny.
Wait. Kevin? Key.
Taemin!
Taemin. Taemin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
And
so.
also G Idol. Yeah, I love them so much. Yeah, oh my god, they're my wives. Just kidding.
Love that for you. So Amy, are you part of like fan clubs in G Idol, or do you know the ships there?
Oh my god, like before
Sujin?
when I used to like EXO before,
Mm-hmm.
I used to be a really like shipper talaga. Like I'd spend my all day shipping people together and
Oh, mine is
being happy about it.
Chanbek
Collecting pictures.
Chanbek and Kaisu. Wow.
Yeah.
Ayan. So were you involved in terms of like Koreans in social media? Like for example, Twitter. Are you part of like the Korean netizens there? For example, in a fandom?
Actually, I was more of the reader type. Like, I was part of Twitter, pero I'll follow them and I would write new things. I'll just heart and retweet and, like, read it again whenever I feel down to make me feel happy.
Ayan. So,
But,
okay, go.
yeah.
Go, Amy. Go.
Yeah. Shipping culture had also been an issue last year. Because someone brought it out, like, isn't it sexual harassment to the idols? Because there are lots of SPG texts here, if you guys know.
Yeah.
Especially even if the idol is, like, a minor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so there are still controversies here, but our question today is why are Korean fans so accepting of their shipping but repulsed at the idea of homosexuals? So let's focus on that na lang. I
Okay.
just wanted to mention it.
Sure. So what are your thoughts
Yeah.
on this as Korean, Because we can't really say what, others
I
in a
actually I asked one of my friends
Mhm.
because I have a friend who is like this talaga.
Okay, go.
And she was like, okay, if you watch Twilight, do you put yourself as Bella and expect for an Edward? And I'm like, no. And she's like, it's like that. It's like fantasy for us. And so that's why they can see it in real life situation though for her. Like, she doesn't represent the whole Korean side, just
Mm-mm,
sharing
mm-mm.
kind of different opinions. And also, one of my other friends said that it kinda ruined her fantasy because in those kind of ships they're both like handsome and cool and idol looking
Mhm.
ganyan, but uh homosexuals in real life are just like, yeah,
Normal.
we're just normal. Like, we don't
Nice.
have that splendid looks and those super long legs or so so I think that's their ideal look of these ships does not match the casual look
Mm.
of queer couples though. Yeah.
Nodding intensifies.
Yeah, true. Because like there's a part of like this shipping culture with like borderlines fetishization of the community,
Yes.
especially
Yeah.
like gays, like which we can
Yeah.
see a lot in like BL fans. Like not saying that all BL fans are like that, but like some of them that I've noticed is like that, and it's kind of like it's bad because it's just thinking of the gay community as a part of like this sexual desire or pleasure when we're just like normal people like living out our life loving someone that we want to love. It's okay to ship idols because like a lot of LGBT fanfic writers are out there like trying to represent the community through the fanfics that they're doing through like the ships. But then like, if it goes across that that fine line to fetishization, that's like I think where we like put a stop to it. Like don't go any further than this line because it's kind of bad.
Yeah, and some
Actually.
idols are actually very open about not wanting, because I do understand the sentiments of as well of idols, because imagine being in a group and then every movement just like being close to a certain member would be deemed as something romantic or something when actually they're just really close friends. I mean, I can see how there could be some sort of discomfort that might cause, there might it might cause a divide between the relationships between members and groups. So at least we could respect that, and at least we could have, that kind of boundary. Another thing about, like what Amy and Sophia mentioned a while ago, there becomes an expectation when it comes to any kind of LGBT relationship, that if it doesn't seem like the average like good looking couple, then it's like something less acceptable, and you're
Yeah.
only more accepted if you look like, the fantasy gay relationship that
Yeah.
you're always thinking about. So that's a problem. I think that shipping culture actually has a lot to do with that.
I agree.
Miss Nerissa, you were gonna say something.
Oh, yeah, because Neri mentioned about BL. I'm actually a
Yeah.
BL fan, so
Same.
yes.
Can't
Well,
deny.
really? Oh my god, we're gonna get together after this. Okay, so
Okay.
actually, speaking of BL, Neri mentioned about in the I'm just gonna segue that, but like lately Korean BLs are starting to grow, and then
True.
what's lovely about Korean BL is that the way they portray the couples is not in a sexualized way. It's more of like really love as it is. And I find it really nice na they're trying to do that. Although yung mga the BLs, the episodes are short lang, but then as time progresses, it's getting longer and longer, and there are a lot of idols who are taking the chance to play uh, in a role there in a BL series. Are you guys aware of that?
Yeah.
Right? Right?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah. I think I saw one before.
I was actually shocked that someone who is an idol or at least a trainee is going to that path. Like I'm so proud. I'm so proud,
Yeah,
honestly.
that's so surprising because like not a lot of like idols in particular would like to take a stand in these things or even like participate in anything LGBT related because
True.
the backlash that might come from like Korean netizens or the people there. So that's really nice that like
True.
a lot more people are like becoming open minded and like being a part of these things.
True, true. And also to point out, there are some cases kasi when fans, when you're a fan of BL, there are some fans that they think na whoever is the ship, they think that they are out or like they're gay already, even without them telling. But then there are some actors or actresses who always, not really always, but like sometimes they point it out to their fans na they're working as an actor in the BL series because they want to represent, but then again people should not parang what do you call this, people shouldn't decide kung ano yung kanilang gender.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
Like those actors who act as straight roles can also be gay. Kanya.
Yeah. You get my
Those
point.
actors
Yeah,
who
yeah.
act as gays can also be straight.
Yes, that's right.
Mm-mm.
Ayan, I just want to point that out. Additional information. Ayan.
Yeah, nice.
All right, now to wrap this topic up, with that, what do you think? What are your thoughts about the shipping culture among fandoms? Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? Well, for me, at least, if it's just for fantasies, but without all the sexualization and fetishishness,
Yeah.
I feel like it's fine. But then, yeah, like what Neri said, Neri or Dana, don't go beyond like what you're fantasizing in your mind. Yeah. Well, that's for me. What about you guys?
I share the same sentiments as you, Miss Neri, because it's good to have like shipping and like I think it's a healthy thing because like we see two people like being in love or like sharing affection to each other, two men or two women showing affection and love to each other, and we can like code that as something queer and we can like translate it into like queer literature or something like what fanfics have done in like AO3 and other platforms. But yun nga, to cross the line to like fetishizing them and like thinking them as like this type of person is like or like enforcing like their our perception of their sexuality and gender to them, like, oh no, they're gay, no, they're lesbian, like that's something that we shouldn't do within the culture.
Yeah. Ayan. Hearing the thoughts from Neri, my sister. What about you, Amy?
Yeah, actually I have the same idea. Like, I think it's okay as long as you keep the boundaries that shouldn't be crossed. And if it's enough, like everything that goes over the boundary isn't healthy for both the fans and the idols. So, yeah, as long as it's enough, shipping culture is okay.
Okay. Ayan, that's for Amy's side. What about you, Dana?
Okay, I want to speak freely about this.
Okay,
I was
go.
actually
No
thinking
problem.
twice about it, but to my parents, if you are listening, please close, please close this right now. But okay, I actually share the same sentiments as all three of you, and I wanted to highlight what Sophia mentioned a while ago about this is actually in a way, in more ways than you can realize, that it's actually some form of representation of how a normal relationship of two loving people could be. Like, that is it gives you that kind of idea. And for me, it made me think about how actually when I first realized that I was already on the path towards realizing that I was actually gay, was because I started becoming open to these kinds of relationships just because of those ships. So, and because of that kind of presence, it's kind of like normalized in your mind, and then it kind of gives you the strength to realize that this is normal, it's natural. So, I guess, in a way, since representation is only booming, only recently, at the time when I didn't have any figure to look up to, those shippings, like, actually, in a way, has helped me in realizing my true identity. So that's that. Oh. Alright, so I guess we can wrap this up and move on to actually queer career celebrities, which would go past to with what we were talking about how, straight actors can also act as gay without being gay. But there are also some people that would contest that and would say that if you are going to play a gay role, because sometimes it's also becoming a marketing strategy, it would be better for representation if those that would represent the community are actually part of the community. Because even then, in the industry right now, there is still a lot of discrimination towards the community. So it's upsetting how you would use straight actors and just use the storyline for shock factor, like we were mentioning a while ago, Miss Amy. But there is one person, I believe, that we when you ask South Koreans about queer Korean celebrities, the name Hosok-chun is actually the first name that comes to mind.
Alright. Speaking of that, now let's talk about a celebrity in South Korea who came out at year 2000 at an age of 30 and is known as the first Korean celebrity who openly admitted he's gay. Hong Sok-chun, also known as Tony Hong.
So Hong Sok-chun is known for his versatility and comedic timing prior to his coming out. He was a host of a popular children's show called Popopo, which is known as South Korea's version of Sesame Street. Now, let's get to know the effects of his coming out to his career and relationships during that time.
So after his coming out, Hong Sok-chun was fired from all of his TV and radio gigs. Phone calls offering also stopped. Some sympathetic producers tried to give him a role but retracted later, explaining that a higher-up executive disapproved of him. The public was very against Sok-chun's coming out. There were some support, but the hate comments and death threats he received outweighed those supportive remarks. The gay rights group protested to MBC when they fired Sok-chun, but MBC argued that the viewers don't want him, and Christian groups also showed their disapproval.
So what he did right after coming out was he shut himself in. He was afraid to leave his apartment to face the media maelstrom. Hong Sok-chun said in an interview, "I didn't smoke much in the past, maybe 2 cigarettes a day, but then I smoked 2 packs a day. Before, I wouldn't touch alcohol, then I started drinking. Acting was the only thing I did well." He also said that he regretted revealing his sexuality, saying, "I thought, okay, I'm 30, it's the new century, it's a good time to come out as gay. That was my mistake," is what he said in an interview.
So despite downturns in his career, in 2003, he was offered to become a subject of a documentary which was ironically broadcasted in MBC, which was the same network that fired him. And it was the #1 show in its time slot. Now, TV offerings started coming in again in 2009. Most of it was small roles and some were offering him to become a host. When he realized that his career as an actor or celebrity was over, he opened a restaurant with his partner, Ron Hartzell, and some people would drop by just to yell slurs at him. Though in 2013, his restaurants became popular. SNSD was a regular at his restaurant. So, aside from that, I think Hong Song-chok until now is popular in Korea. Am I right, Amy?
Yeah, sorry.
Is Hong Song-chok still, Hong Sok-chun still
Yeah.
Popular here in, not here,
Yeah.
in Korea?
Hong Sok-chun still appears to lots of programs. And yeah, I'm sure like if you ask, do you know any gay celebrities here, they'll say Hong Sok-chun because actually he's really funny din
True.
in those variety shows. And actually, I was born on 1999, so I wasn't really there when he was experiencing cut off from the broadcast system.
Oh.
Like, when I kind of grew up na and watched TV, he was there na and making jokes about him being gay. Though sadly, his restaurants had to close due to COVID situation.
Oh.
But still, his image is really nice.
Do you know where his restaurant is? Itaewon?
Yeah, it's in Itaewon.
Oh.
But like specific address, I don't. But
No, it's fine, it's fine.
yeah.
I think his restaurant was featured in Itaewon class, if I'm not mistaken. Have you he
I'm
was
not
there.
Sure about that.
Because he was there. And it was like a
Oh yeah, I
pub.
remember him being there as cameo.
Yeah. I think it was his
Yeah.
restaurant. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, wow. Well,
So much thoughts.
I feel like he's going to grow more aside from, even though his restaurant is going to close down. I believe that there's more greater things that's going to come to him.
Actually, I don't know. I groaned a while ago. Kasi parang, first of all, did MBC make him return because they were actually genuinely sorry about what they did about firing him?
You never
You know about
know.
that one, Amy?
To be
Right?
honest, like okay, when when I kinda like recognized, okay, I'm watching TV age na. He was already there.
Yeah. of
So
course,
I didn't know about these conflicts.
yeah,
but
like, yeah. Understandable, yeah.
yeah.
Because I was kind of upset because knowing that, I mean, he mentioned in the interview the one mentioned a while ago was that he was actually really passionate about acting, and now he is known for his variety shows and comedic timing. So that kind of that doesn't settle quite well with me because mostly that would mean that you are only accepting of this very big personality because of their humor and not really about because you did mention that he would always talk about it, make jokes about him being gay, and that would only come across as the Korean netizens or like the public in general would only be tolerating him and not really be accepting of him and actually truly understanding that this is his sexuality. So I don't really know. I'm not really happy about how it turned out.
Well, Dana. Business is business. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
Business
the
is
thing
business.
is, it's like this is not just a phenomenon that happened like right now. Actually, in the Philippines, there are a lot of notable names that you would say that because of that, the public would say na if you have this kind of humor, like a lot of people would regard like the gay community as someone you would like to be friends with because they're funny, they're so comfortable to be with, but not really seeing them as like they're not there for your entertainment. That's the thing. Like that's the point that I want to point across. Like they're not there for your entertainment, and it's sad how I feel like that's how Hong Sok-chan has been viewed or accepted in the Korean eye.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
also agree with Dana because like most of the time like LGBT representation or portrayal in the media has been seen as like the comedy relief, comedic relief for like the viewers, and like they're the funny ones, or they're the gay best friend, and it's not something like, oh, they're a person who's successful, they're a friend who has been there or BFFs since day one, they're the ones who've been there since they're coming out or something like that. And it's just sad to see na ganun nga yung nangyari sa kanya, like the passion for acting is there, but he has to like keep up with this kind of personality, I guess, as like someone who's the funny one in variety shows, and like using their sexuality as like the butt of the joke when that shouldn't be the case. And like what's really sad for me is that when he said na yun nga, it's a good time to come out as gay. Like he thought that that time was a good time to come out as gay, and then he said that it was a mistake. And I think that's just sad for me because like it meant that society just wasn't accepting for him, and like but he shouldn't regret coming out because I think that's what we should all remember, that coming out has always been like a journey that you come with throughout your lifetime, and that it's just something that should be treasured by someone part of the community, and it's sad na yun nga that that's what happened to him when he came out. And I hope like society becomes better. And yeah, yun lang.
Yeah. Oh, I get your points talaga. Like, before, I used to feel about it when every time they talk about him, it's like, oh, if you go to army, you just have to avoid guys like Hong Sok-chan. And he'll show them like, kind of look. I was like, oh, wait, I thought we were kind of conservative, but you're allowed to make this kind of jokes. Isn't it kind of rude to the guest? But I also think that the fact that he returned to the broadcast system and the way that he's showing out his identity as gay is also important because there had been no people on television saying that I'm gay, then they're successful and happy. So I think he's iconic in a way, but I also don't like them humorizing his sexuality. But yeah, I'm also surprised that the broadcast system allowed him to return because Korea is still conservative about those. And I can't imagine how it must have been for him in year 2000 because there wasn't any icon of gay or thing or like example of successful Korean gays. Yeah. So, yeah. No, wala lang, because in Korean society, we're really quiet about it. Like, you really can't see people saying, I like guys, I like girls, ganyan. Unless you're in a closed community where you can trust each other talaga. So my Korean friends had been saying like, oh, but I've never seen any Korean gays. And I'm like, you not seeing Korean gays doesn't mean that they're not there. They might have kept it from you or... So, yeah.
True. But you shouldn't out a person, TBH. It's weird to ask, you know.
Yeah.
Ayan, so speaking about Korean celebrity, I also want to open about a Korean idol who I guess the K-pop industry already knows who he is. His name is Holland. He's the first openly gay idol. His name is actually Go Tae-sub. And here's a background about Holland. Dana?
So Holland's career wasn't as easy compared to others, especially since his songs reflect his experiences with violent assailants and victims inflicted on sexual minorities. So he debuted without any support or training in any of South Korea's entertainment companies. He then auditioned for big entertainment companies, but he didn't specify which. He also said that when he finished his album, he reached out to some entertainments, but they refused to release it because of the message of his songs. In the end, he produced his first single, which is Neverland, with the money he saved from his part-time job for about 2 years without his agency. So after debuting, he was then signed to an agency.
So in addition to that, growing up, Holland received a lot of maltreatment from his schoolmates. According to our source, in his middle school days, he told one of his closest friends about being gay. Then the next day, everyone in his school was gossiping about it. Despite his traumatic experiences while growing up, it just motivated him to become a voice for South Korea's LGBTQ plus population. And that's Holland's story. So actually, when Holland first came out sa YouTube, I actually saw his music video. Like I think I was one of the first people who saw his music video because ever since Holland was when Holland started posting on Twitter, it became a boom to like all K-pop. The typical news news writing, news writing sites like all K-pop, Korean Boo, yan. When Holland first posted on Twitter about his music video, people were intrigued. And then, same as me, I was intrigued, like, oh, there's just something new. And then when I watched his music video, it was really like very, very him. Very, I'm sorry, I don't know what pronouns to use to Holland. I'm so sorry. But then, yeah, it was very Holland there. Very Holland. Like everything was, yeah, I believe that he represented himself well. And then, yes, he deserved that. He signed it to an agency right after that. Yes, deserved. So, how about you guys? Have you met? Have you met? Have you seen Holland, or do you know his music?
I'm only aware of this music video, but I don't really remember like the lyrics or stuff. But I just remember there are a lot of like gay people in there, and a lot of like portrayal of gay relationships. And
Oh.
I think his like journey towards like his becoming an idol just highlights the struggles that us in the community face when it comes to trying to make our way throughout any industry out there, and just how like there's still homophobia present in institutions, and just how harder it is for us to succeed.
True. Actually, Holland is very open when it comes to his interviews. Like he always states that there's a problem in society about LGBT in Korea. When yeah. Most of it are like the problems that he encountered. He's very open to that until now, from what I know. So, what are your thoughts? Do you
I
have
actually would
other
like to
thoughts?
know about Amy. Like, what are the Koreans' reception towards Holland? Like, where does he stand right now?
Oh, like to be honest, Koreans don't really know about Holland.
Mm.
Like also for me, I mean, not kinda. I actually try to study LGBTQ, like issues about LGBTQ in Korea, but I also didn't know about Holland
Mm.
before I've heard of him here.
Okay.
Yeah, so sadly, I
Mm,
think he's more well known abroad
that's
than he is in Korea.
Oh, that's true. Because Holland gets a lot of interviews and other opportunities. I guess in the U.S., if I'm not mistaken, or
Mm-hmm.
Western side of
Mm-hmm.
industry, of the
yeah.
industry. Yeah.
I'm actually surprised because for us, like at least for us international fans of K-pop, it was groundbreaking that we finally have someone in the industry that's really open. And then hearing it from Amy, it seems that there is still much for the Korean community to know about this very talented artist. I hope that he'll be able to. I think so. I have high hopes that he'll be able to represent us well.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. And also, I mean, this isn't about Holland, but can I add about
Go
Hong
ahead.
Sakcha?
Go
Go
go.
ahead,
it,
go ahead.
yeah, because he's famous for being like comedic, ganyan. But
Mm.
I also think that it was one of his way to gain popularity. And after he gained some popularity, he had lots of interviews explaining about how all gays aren't like 24 hours in like gay mode, as
Mm.
in fall in love with every guy on the street.
Mm.
And I think it's also his way of supporting the community, and because he after since he became popular now and people know about his presence, so people watch his interviews, right? And he corrects the thoughts or wrong perceptions that people have against gays. And, like we're also just like other people, ganyan.
Mm. I'm glad he pointed that out
Yeah,
because it's
And
very
oh,
important.
and also like I heard that when he first came out, some of the gay communities were against him na. Like,
Really?
I don't want you to be representing us because you will ruin our image. Like, he's not those kind of handsome, ideal type of guy that people like.
Mm.
Yeah, and also humorous characteristics. Like, you're humorizing the gay community. Ganyan. So there were some opposing groups as well.
Mm.
I
Not
understand
really.
like the humorizing
Yeah,
part.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the first part, like,
I
why
know,
should like
right?
appearances be like a factor when it comes to like who gets to represent what? You know, it's just
Mm-mm.
it's weird.
Mm-mm.
Well, at least we
Same
know their
idea.
side. At least we know their
That's
side. We're aware now.
unfortunate. Like, if ever, like, if that's really sad because at the time, if ever na there would be, artists from today that would come out, you have the full support of most of the gay community. But for him, he almost had didn't have anyone.
Yeah, and even some of the gays were like, I don't want you to be our icon. Like, I don't like you representing us. So
That's
I
really
can't imagine how hard it
yeah.
would happen for him.
At least his life turned 180.
I hope that actually I wanted to point that out a while ago that if ever if there's gonna be a whole history of the LGBT community, he would be one of those icons. Like he would be the
Definitely.
first, and he would be a role model to a lot of younger people. And I guess he at least. It's sad that It's sad that I'm making it seem that it's at least because I know that I'm saying at least because I know that he could have had it better, had it easier. But then again, he started something, and hopefully that it follows. I hope that while we are still alive, we would see the transition of how the community would perceive the gay community, LGBT community. So, now that we talked about those topics, we see how queer representation is indeed important in theater, film, and TV because it served as a voice for the LGBTQ plus community.
Alright, so we have a K-pop group, actually, here, that is known for being supportive towards the LGBTQIA+.
Yeah.
Dana, do you wanna introduce them?
Yes, it is my honor as an orbit. Yes, so if you guys know already, Luna is known for being supportive, extremely supportive towards LGBTQ plus community in their music video Heart Attack, depicting a love interest towards the same sex. In the video, Chu is seen doing many things in an attempt to get the attention of Eve because Eve has attacked her heart. The video doesn't explicitly mention that the pair is together or that either of them identifies as LGBT. Still, fans have taken the chemistry between the two along with shots of Chu working to get her bandmates' attention and their closeness near the end of the clip as evidence of their love in the music video. The clip's YouTube description also mentions that the single is about Chu's desire to be loved by Eve, so that was explicitly mentioned in the description for the music video.
Oh,
Actually,
wow.
really glad that this was mentioned because to give you guys more insight about this, actually, there were a lot of, this is the reason actually why the LGBT community is very fond of Luna, and that's where they got a lot of fans as well, including me. And Luna actually explicitly says that they are about really embracing wanting to go beyond gender, race, and nationality. And for this one, like it garnered a lot of attention, this music video. And so in interviews actually, they were asked how they felt about the community perceiving this song as something, you know, um, running around LGBTQ. So Eve actually was very willing to answer this question, and she was like, "Oh, I think I should be the one answering this." And then she also said that for us it was really a story about yearning, but we are actually very thankful when it was translated that way. So yeah, it's really really wholesome. I'm really glad that they were really speaking about it and using, their actually a lot of members are very open about it. It's not just Eve and Chu, or a lot. And I'm glad that they're finally, you know, a part of a generation that can speak freely about this, and they're not being censored by their company. If ever there's censorship, then I don't know the grounds of that, but at least they were able to speak about that. Well, I want to know your thoughts, like for non-orbits. But I know Sophia's an orbit, so for non-orbits first, and then Sophia, please come in and fangirl with me.
Actually, we have this kind of jokes for those idols who shows their love to each other, like extra loves. Like fans usually joke like, if you call them friends, I have no friends, ganyan. Giving a message that they can't be just friends because they look like it's more than that.
And the shipping
Yeah.
starts. And the shipping starts. Well, actually, okay, go, Amy.
Have you guys
No,
watched
no.
this though?
No, I haven't yet, but
Oh.
I think I can state another music video. Well, I'm not sure if it's really, pertaining to LGBT, but then
Is this Please Don't?
no, this is
Oh, okay.
Red Velvet's Bad Boy. Am I right?
Bad boy?
Ah,
Yeah,
really?
I like that song.
They-
Yeah.
Di nyo ba napansin in the music video, there was something going on aside from, bad boy. Like, there was no boy there. But then,
Oh no, but when it comes to Red Velvet, wait, no, when it comes to Red Velvet, the first thing I think of is Monster.
ano ba yan?
I
Well,
mean-
actually though, yeah, o diba? You guys see, and you know what's up.
Yeah.
Knowing SM, they can't be that open, but then something's up. And I'm happy that
Yeah.
Red Velvet represents,
That's true, that's true.
Okay.
Okay, so Amy and Sophia, what do you think about, the music videos that we mentioned, and in general, like other music videos that you see, like are, walking around those areas of queer representation?
I think it's nice that they're really open about discussing and showing stuff about this, and so that other people, younger people, can see it and look at it as like coming from a different lens. Because like I feel like when gay people look at these music videos, they see it from a different lens than from those who are straight. Because like we
Mm-mm.
always see the things in between, like it's queer coded to us. It's like blatantly clear that it's queer coded, like as compared to like when straight see it, oh, they're just two friends. I guess. So yeah, so it's also nice that like Luna made a stand about this and like said no, oh, it can also be for like talking about two people in love with each other, like romantic love. But it's also kind of sad to say na parang it isn't explicit, that we have like they have to relegate stories about homosexual love as a
Yeah, I see.
subtext, that we have to like see it or like see like read between the lines in order to see that, oh, they are in love, and
Yeah.
it's not like just a friendship thing.
Yeah, I get. Yeah.
How about you, Miss Amy? Have you seen the
Yeah.
Have you seen the video?
I think I watched a short clip lang
Mm.
of the video because it was trending before.
Oh, in Korea?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I saw it on Twitter. Because in Korea, like Twitter is usually social media popular for queer communities and different kinds of communities.
Mm.
Uh, so for me, I also have a positive view on this because this kind of continuous exposure to the audiences about queer representation
Mm.
helps them to like digest the idea, because
Yeah.
I think the reason why some people like rejects the idea of LGBTQA is just because it's the area of unknown. Like they're just scared of it because they
Yeah.
don't know about it,
Yeah.
so they deny it. But I think if they continuously show this kind of medias, because usually in music videos before, when they say love, it's between guy and a girl, they go out on a date, or they break up and cry. But this continuous portrayal of
Yeah, it
queer
normalizes
couples.
the image. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, not just for music videos. Idols have already been like self-producing idols have started making songs that don't have any specific pronouns. And actually, even if they do have specific pronouns, there would be, women talking about women as well, or men talking about men as well. So, or in general, just like loving everybody. That's usually where they stand. Like, just loving anyone and everyone.
Ay, may share ako dyan. Since you mentioned it. Hi! Okay, so, actually, Kingdom. Okay, so there was this short. I'll try to make this short. Okay, so there was, everyone knows Kingdom naman, diba? The survival show between groups. And then there was this round where they had to switch songs with another group. So Stray Kids was switched with B2B. And then Stray Kids took the song I'll Be Your Man. If you guys know what I'll Be Your Man, the song, it's mostly a song for a girl. But then what Stray Kids did was they changed it all up. They removed all the pronouns and then they changed it into something na instead of the song is telling about being a man for the person. Huh? Wait. Instead of a man being confessing himself to a girl, it's a man confessing his love to anyone. Which was, I think, really good because they really pointed it out. I mean, the experts in Kingdom didn't get the whole thing, but then the fans were really touched on what they did. So yeah, proud of them. And I guess the
Not
other
shade on the
groups,
experts.
yes, shade on the experts because they're too dumb. But anyways, yeah, and you can see it. The groups are starting to, you know, show their support to the community as well. Even though it doesn't look like they do, but then other people see it, and that makes me proud. And I guess you guys too. So yeah. Yun lang, that's for sharing.
Yeah, that's also true. There are a lot of like gender neutral songs out there, like sung by K-pop idols and artists, and some of them actually shared some of like gay queer coded songs, like songs by Troye Sivan and a lot more covered the songs and showcase that it's not wrong. Like this type of love isn't wrong, and just like letting other people know that it's okay. And it's also empowering to like people like us, myself. Not like when you see them like singing these songs, like with these lyrics, saying like very gender neutral. It's like saying na everything's okay, everything's fine. There's nothing wrong with who you are.
True. Oh, diba? Well, speaking of K-pop, I guess we can talk about, those type of how do I pasok it? Wait now, I'm so sorry. Oh, I was trying to make sense about
You can
it.
just read it.
Okay. Well, speaking of Korean idols, on the other hand, in media, I guess it is important to portray correct queer representation as well. Well, media is a very powerful tool. I guess everyone can agree to that. That it could shape the opinions and beliefs of the audiences. And the media portrayal can highlight the less sensational or the controversial aspects of queer life.
Yeah, it's no longer new for K-media to have queer representations on films and television. And some examples of queer representation in K-dramas are the transgender character, actually in Itaewon Class, and gay representations in Run-On and Reply 1997, and K-films such as Fantasy of the Girls.
Well, let's talk about the gay representation in Reply 1997. Have you guys watched it?
I actually haven't.
Yeah.
Same.
Okay. Anyways, since there's research naman here. So there's a character named Hoya who is a member of a pop boy group portrayed by Kang Junhee. Well, he is characterized as a shy and sweet boy and is unable to tell his peers about his sexuality, along with his secret crush on his best friend. So the storyline leads to his confession, and the rest is for you guys to find out.
No spoilers.
Okay, no spoilers. Yeah, I think I watched this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Hoya. Do you guys know Hoya from Infinite? Well, he's a former member now. But then, yeah.
This is his. Okay.
Yeah. Oh nga, no. Well, actually, during this drama, I wasn't aware na he was gay there. But then, there was a point where he had to confess to his best friend. And then we were like, oh, which is very rare. Because that was, like, Reply 1997 was, like, years ago. And I think, thinking about it now, I think it was the first gay drama that I've watched na they opened, a gay character into it. So yeah. Do you guys know any K dramas that, showed anyone represented the community? Or not that you know of as of now?
Like recently.
Okay.
Run on.
Oh, I haven't watched it yet. Hindi ko pa
It's really
natuloy.
nice. Yeah, I love how they didn't go like shocking he was gay, but like he's gay. Yeah. And like yeah, she's asexual, not like she's asexual, like yeah, but she's romantic asexual, like oh.
Oh, okay. So it's
Yeah.
they showed na hindi siya shocking
Mm-hmm.
when someone comes out. Oh, that's actually nice. Okay, time to continue run on.
Actually, this comes from our discussion again a while ago about how, not using it for shock value. And, dramas actually play a big role in representing us because ito yung meron ng, there would be context because it's actually stories and characters that we would see as, real people. And I'm glad that Run On actually portrayed, that kind of coming out or expressing their identity in a very normal and natural way. And that's how it's supposed to be.
I think like using them as a shock factor like contributed a lot to people's wrong conceptions about the queer community because usually they used to use this kind of characters as a tool to make a twist, as in I was jealous because I like the girl, but because I like you that way. That's why a lot of people they worry about, what if my friend is gay and he falls in love with me like that. Yeah, it really plays a big role in giving people wrong conceptions, I guess.
True. There are also other dramas that showed, like, for example, the male lead, and then the co-workers are going to think na he's not straight, but then after they find out na he's straight, they're gonna be like, oh, buti na lang, dahil ita, gumaganon sila. And I'm like, huh?
No.
But it, like, yeah, right, diba, Amy? Have you...
Yeah, like I've seen lots of clips like those, and I don't go like I go around the guys and like, oh my god, what if he's straight? And he goes like, I'm gay, and I'm like, buti na lang.
Yeah.
That's so awkward. Like, why?
Why?
Why do you assume that he's gonna fall in love with you automatically?
Kapal mo.
Haba ng hair.
Kapal mo naman. What makes you think that you're our type?
Yeah. Well, those were the dramas I've watched before. I forgot the specific dramas na ganon, pero there are a lot. Pero what's better now is, yeah, they're trying to show it more better than better pa. Better than before. Ayun. Amy, do you have additional thoughts?
I agree, but I think I still feel about it
Mm-mm.
because even if the views on LGBT community got is getting better and better, so before it was like a no, but now it's like, oh, I'm okay as long as my friend doesn't fall in love with me, and
Uh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. What I don't like about that is they don't know that it's rude to say this kind of things. They're like, oh,
Definitely.
I'm accepting. Like, as long as you guys don't fall in love with me, I'm okay with it. Like, but being gay doesn't mean that you fall in love with every guy around with you.
Yeah, that's a misconception. Yeah.
And like I think that is more like being tolerant towards the
Mm-mm.
gays rather than accepting, because like okay, I like you pero with reservations, parang that's not how it's supposed to be. Acceptance is like being like fully accepting of the person, like all of their traits, even their worst qualities. And like being LGBT isn't a part of those worst qualities. You have to be accepting of me and my sexuality and everything else that comes with me. So parang also yung like the representation thing here. It's good na like the coming out is something as like something so casual and something so like everyday. That's nice because like a lot of gay people and like people in the community experience that. Pero there are still others then. Like we also have to see now there are other people who see this coming out as a big thing, as a big deal. Especially like in conservative countries like ours and also in Korea, that it's hard to be out of the closet. So you have to stay in until like the time is right. And obviously other people would like to celebrate that. So there's still two sides to this. So both are good naman and okay. And it's nice that more like perspectives on how it is to be a part of the LGBT community is coming out and being portrayed in the media.
Yeah. And also, before, most of the queer characters in K drama and K film, I remember them being depicted as someone who's special, as in, uh, yeah, as you mentioned, because Korea is very conservative country. I understand like these characters having internal conflicts and them showing it, but the way that they portray the stages of coming out and people accepting the character, they show it as something very touching and special, which shouldn't be the case all the time. And it kind of builds an idea that uh, those kind of like people who confess should be treated with care, like as in, I'm gay and oh, thank you for telling me, ganyan. So pero it's getting better since more casual type of confessions like in drama Run On is being displayed na, unlike past films and dramas. So I hope in the future there are different types of queer couples other than the ones with conflicts and touching stories, I hope.
True, true, true. Hope we see that there's going to be a development of, the queer representation in K-drama and K-film. So, actually, we can move on to our next topic kasi related din naman siya. Alright, so, celebrities have a huge impact towards their fans. Now, we have here celebrities who broke the gender stereotypes in terms of outfit or makeup and their performances.
Actually, we have a lot of examples for the outfit and makeup category. So, one very notable example is Amber New, which is one of K-pop idols who addressed the issue of stereotyping. Ever since the group's debut, FX, Amber already showed her individuality and broke gender norms in South Korea. From long, shiny hair and skimpy clothing and the classic red lipstick, Amber sported a short, cropped, androgynous hair with a snapback and a pair of baggy shorts. To this day, Amber continues to never let society's standards affect who she wants to be.
Another example is Big Bang's G-Dragon. So G-Dragon is one of the highly recognized trendsetters in the industry. The all-around artist has made his mark in the fashion world with his genderless clothing choices and as a fashion innovator. He is not afraid to mix and match his clothes and even experimented on having a long hairstyle while using makeup brands that cater to women.
So, what do you guys think about this? Actually, I wanted to highlight then Amber a while ago because actually she's one of the first
She's
people.
cool. I love
Actually,
her.
I first saw FX when I was like in 6th grade, 5th grade. And I was surprised na she had a lot of, the general look in K-pop groups which is very feminine, but she was already sporting her own style and shows na breaking gender norms that we're not just like women can be like this as well. Like it's not just this usual image that you have, like society tries to keep us in a box in. And this is actually like, despite it just being about outfit, makeup and style, this actually is this is a breakthrough in the community. Actually, it helps a lot. This actually counts as representation.
So, well, aside from celebrities breaking gender stereotypes in outfit or makeup, meron din sa performance. So, an example of queer representation for the performance category, alam ko everyone knows this, napaka-iconic nito, Shiny Taemin's Move.
Yes, I can see Miss Amy already squealing from her video in the Zoom call. So, Shiny, release it all. So, ayun. So, Shiny's Daeun has always enjoyed challenging society's norms. With his 27 hit Move, Daeun explained how he wanted to find a middle ground between masculine and feminine movements in the choreography. So, Move's choreography was crafted by Japanese dancer Koharu Sugawara, who challenged gender norms and went beyond the standards as it manifested a notable combination of gracefulness. I actually love the choreography. Like, I love the
True.
Oh.
Tapos coming from Taemin himself, Lee Taemin, hello! Ay! No. And I love how it came from Taemin because from what I know, yung current generation ngayon, or actually the generations that came after Shiny, role model nila si Shiny. Well, role model nila Shiny, but then more on Taemin. So like, every time na they're going to be asked, who is your role model? They're gonna say it's Taemin. Do you want to dance to Taemin song? Okay, let's dance to Move. Ang ganda ang ganda nung, tawag dito, ang ganda nung path na napunta nung dance talaga nito. Like, yes!
So unafraid to express both masculinity and femininity because like it falls under gender expression, which is like very different on gender identity. So like seeing people be more expressive in how they want to identify, whether it may be feminine or masculine, and how they interpret these on themselves. It's really nice. Like yun yan, as from the examples a while ago, like sina Amber Liu, G-Dragon, Movie, they may be straight, they may be gay or NB, but how they express themselves is something to be lauded because like everyone has their own soji, everyone can express the way that they want, and it's just about the matter of you trying to identify yourselves and navigate on who you are and who you want to be.
Amen.
I love that. I can hear Sophia smile while she was.
Actually,
I can hear her smiling. It was so nice.
Speaking of Taemin, can I mention Jogun?
Go!
Go ahead, yes!
Oh my god.
I love him.
Because, I love his performances on Hills.
Yes.
And also, because there's this variety programs that he appears on, like famous ones, like, and in one of them where they show his daily life with his manager, he like showed himself like walking with his dog on super high heels.
Whoa!
Yeah, and actually, and a person walking by was like, oh, it's you look nice, and just walked by na. And also, he got his nails done, and he even brought the heels to the studio and asked the guys to try it on because it gives them confidence. And they actually tried it on and walked around and they felt like, oh, I kind of like this.
Oh, yes, I love you, Johan.
Straight males who do like this type of dancing, like I think it's like specific styles, like heels dancing, and it's like so nice to see men like be empowered by something as so feminine as heels. Or I guess like the origin of heels, like men also wore heels like before in like the olden times, but that's in Europe. I don't know like where else, but it's so nice like men feel empowered by things that aren't like socially accepted, like to be men or masculine.
True. Actually, a lot of idols are doing their nails na. Have you seen them? Kahit sa music shows, they're so open to it. I'm so happy. And speaking of Jockwon, di ba, was it last year or this last year? I'm not sure. But he has this musical, right? What's the title again? Something about Jamie. Let's talk about Jamie.
Let's talk about Jamie.
Am I right?
Wait.
Everyone talks about Jamie. There. Everybody's talking about Jamie. There. Well, he was actually with other idols as well. There's MJ from Astro, Ren from New West. Do you know Ren? I know Ren is very open in terms of wearing whatever you love. Yes. You should know him.
Love him so
Yeah.
I believe he's portraying, correct me if I'm wrong,
Actually,
a drag queen, sa musical.
yes,
he was
every one of
recently
them.
in.
They're part of like the drag.
Yun. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Speaking of Ren, okay, going back to Ren. Actually, when Ren started as an idol, people perceived him as like, quote unquote gay. But then, he looks. I think like he's androgynous. I mean, in terms of what he looks, because there was this one time in I forgot what year it was, but then boys covered Girls' Day something. Do you guys know that or?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there from
Boys
there.
Day.
From there, after that performance, Ren received a lot of support. Like fans were really proud of him that he was able to perform with confidence. Unlike other groups before, like the boy groups when they're covering girl groups, they still dance it as manly. But with Ren and with his other friends during that performance, wow, chef kiss.
He was so pretty as well.
I
He was
know,
really
he
pretty.
is. And there was actually this. Oh, I'm sharing too much about Ren because I'm not really that big of a fan to Newest, but then I always see Ren doing.
Okay, I'm really interested in this.
He keeps on. There's a lot of things that he's been doing around. That everyone is aware of, even though they're not fans of Newest. Actually, Ren, he had a photo shoot where he had to wear women's clothes. Like, he didn't change anything with his upper look, but then women's clothes. So, like, everyone was like, he received a lot of positive feedbacks from it because it was very shocking. But at the same time, Ren, he's medyo payatot but then muscular. I don't know how to describe that. But then, even I remembered he received aside from the positive feedback, he also received negative. Pero sinasagot niya yung mga negative na yon. Like, oh, why do you care? Ganon. Hindi naman dapat ganito yung, yeah, he's trying to change the negative feedbacks into thinking of, you should start opening your mind to things like this. And this is
Educate
why I am
yourselves.
doing this right now.
Yeah.
There. Educate yourself. Yan. So it's time to stand. Amy, go. Okay, that was really random. But yeah, aside from that, I really love, gusto ko yung ang haba na ng mga nakwento ko. Because everyone who's part of everybody's talking about Jamie, is may history na sila on representing. So I guess that's why they got those idols to be part of the musical. Yeah. So MJ. Okay, last na. MJ from Astro. Yan. See, actually his taking of Jamie. He's Jamie there in the musical. So si MJ naman, everyone was shocked because they weren't expecting MJ to take that role because nobody had a clue like, whoa, you would accept an LGBTQ representative musical, and it was really shocking to others. But then, what I'm proud of about MJ is, although he received a lot of negatives, he's posting on his social media his costumes. He be flexing everything that he's given. Like,
Love
yes.
that for him.
And even until now, yeah, I know. And until now, it's like, no one's, well, there were some interviews that questioned him, like, what's his sexuality? But then, his response is like, do I have to answer that? Like, is that really... I know, and that's what I loved about them. Everyone from that musical, I love them. And yeah, sir, that ends my sharing. Get to know more about them, guys. They're really good. They're cool. I love them. Ayan.
I think that kind of thing is really important na, since kasi in older generations, doing drags were seen as more of like funny thing, as like guy comedians or celebrities dress up like girls and dance like in a funny way, making people laugh. But nowadays, as people are taking it more seriously, I really think we're getting better.
I noticed
Wow.
a lot of like the idols, like the recent idols, have become more progressive and are more supportive towards the community.
True. Actually, speaking of that, Neri, sakto na naman to the next topic na. This is about celebrities who show support naman to the community. So, actually, celebrity support really meant a lot to fans, especially those who are part of the community. And K-celebrities has shown their support towards the queer community, like holding flags on concerts. Kayo guys, are you aware of idols or groups na, alam ko, for sure, pag sa concerts, di ba, ang daming flags na dinadala, kahit bisexual flag or kahit anong LGBTQ flag. I'm sure you guys know groups who show, they try to get it. I don't know if it's pwede sa management nila, but they still do it anyway. So, may mga groups ba kayo nakilala? Wala? Wala?
Actually, I can give you a list
Okay,
based from
go.
our researchers, and these are just to name a few because I know that there is an overwhelming amount of idols that would really... I forgot who, but okay, I'll mention these people first. So there's Blackpink's Lisa, who actually held the flag in their Manila concert last February 2019. And there's also Red Velvet's Yeri, Twice's Cheong, GOT7's Jackson, Monsta X's Minhyuk, Sunmi, Luna's Choeri at KCON, and a lot more. And actually, I really can't remember who, but there was this one idol. I remember their manager really trying to they were really trying to stop that certain idol from getting it, but she or he really was like, nope, I am getting that, give me that flag. And then they just really showed it. I forgot who. I'm
Wait.
really upset that I don't remember who this
Familiar
was.
din.
It's familiar to me as well.
Right? Right?
I think I've seen the video itself, but I don't remember
Me
who
too.
or what idol it is.
Can someone search it up? I don't think
Wait, I kind of want to search
I'm trying to
that.
search
wait,
right now.
wait.
Okay, so while you
Who
guys
is
search it up, I
that?
also remember Sunmi. Like, one of them is Sunmi that
Yes, Queen, yes.
in one of her concerts, she was really being all motherly, being like the queen she is. She was like, give me that flag. And then she was just like wearing it and she was like showing it off. It was so
Like,
so
I love her.
And like when she was asked about it in an interview, like she was asked if she was part of the community. She said no, she's not, but she's like really extra supportive of us. So like it's nice to have like that like explicit like word of saying that oh someone that I idolize, someone I look up to is like supporting me and the community that I'm a part of. So that's nice.
True,
And speaking
true.
of Sunmi, actually she likes to integrate a lot of, giving us that girl relationship action like in her Gashina stage. Like there's a part in the table where she has to be partnered with a guy and just like putting her arms around him. And then she did a special stage where she replaced all those male dancers into
Yeah, I
female
watched that.
dancers.
Yes! Oh my gosh,
God.
I really love that. Oh, I love
And
that.
for her latest comeback, there's this part where she's like on a chair sitting on a guy, and then while she's like having her hands around the girl. So like, yes, queen, best of both worlds. Actually, another name to mention is Red Velvet Sulgi, who raised the pride flag in a photo shoot. Yeah. It was,
Wow.
it's nice having these kinds of idols. It's funny because for a lot of people like who probably aren't part of the community would again see this in a different lens, but for us, for those that are part of the community, this flag means so much. It's very symbolic, and raising it is I'm looking at my pride flag in the room right now after saying that. I just like my eyes just went there, and it's like, oh no, the tears are gonna come back. But yeah, it's having these representation and performances and flags, having their flag raised. It's really beautiful and empowering. But have you guys seen it already?
But
Actually, aside from the actual flag being shown, there are also, in other than concerts, celebrities also wear outfit collections to support the community.
Yeah.
The K-pop group Pentagon has openly expressed their support for the community through their outfits. There was this one performance wherein Kino was seen wearing a Burberry shirt that supports the queer community. So you all know the very famous design of Burberry with the lines like the brown and like the
Yeah.
I believe it's called plaid. So instead of the usual white brown lines, it was turned into a rainbow, and they were seen wearing that. There are also a lot of idols that were seen, especially there's one Yewon and Wusok wearing pride pins on their shirts, and there are also some idols that were limited edition shoes specifically designed for Pride Month. So there are a lot. Actually, even I can think of instances. I remember Eve from Luna again having like her iPad. She has a sticker of the pride flag on her iPad, and then Hyunjin also from Luna was wearing a shirt with the pride flag. So there's so much support in these like tiny details, like these things, like as I was saying a while ago. It may just be like the rainbow, but for us it means a lot. So I'm thankful for that. Like for me, at least, I am very thankful of that.
True, true.
Have you seen it? Have you seen it already? Have you searched
Hindi,
it
hindi girl. Malabo. Masyado nang maraming idols na naghawak ng flag, so hindi na namin
Oo nga
mahanap yung
eh.
specific.
Pero
Anyways.
whoever that idol is, I'll get back to you.
True,
with
true,
that. Or
true.
for the listeners, maybe they know who it is.
True.
Please tell us
Please
or
comment it
Please
down.
comment.
Yes!
Yeah.
Para siyang live podcast, no?
Share your thoughts, please.
So wait, hold on. Actually, another form of expressing, like not just like blatantly like showing like the flag. There are also other instances wherein idols were able to show support for the community. As mentioned actually by Sofia already, she already gave a grasp of what that is, like an example of that, which is supporting other artists or material that are produced by people from the community. And I believe Miss Soap would like to give the example for this, as she mentioned a while
Like
ago.
the first thing that popped pops to my mind was Namjoon from BTS sharing
Yeah.
Troye Sivan's Strawberries and Cigarettes in Twitter, and among other artists I really don't remember, but yeah, basta he's been ultra supportive. And there's also a cover song of Fools with I believe it was Jungkook and Jimin. Like they were singing it, and Fools is like, you would think it's heteroromantic or something like that, but it's about between two guys. And there's also a song that they produced. Now it's like it's very gender neutral. Like they both sing "Know You Love Me, Girl," so that I love you. "Know You Love Me, Boy," so that I love you. So it caters to
Yes.
both genders, and it's just so nice to see like this type of stuff in like the industry now. It's not just like hetero romantic relationships, that you can also see like boys loving boys, women loving women, in like those types of songs and lyrics. Like as mentioned earlier, there are queer coded lyrics that we can see in some songs, and it resonates with us and it empowers us more.
Actually, I also want to read like what one of our project heads mentioned in the chat. I'm sorry, how do you mention this? One us, Sian, recommends so much LGBTQIA plus musicals and queer movies, and his fave musicals are actually centered for the community, LGBT centered. Oh, his favorite musical is Jamie. Yeah, I actually know a lot. I believe also Solgi. Like Solgi also loves a lot of, you know, um actually I don't know if it's the best kind of representation, because I know that there's a lot of controversy around blue is the warmest color. So I don't know if
Oh.
that's the best kind of
Mm-mm.
representation. But on the wider scale of things, at least, Solgi talking about the movie alone or liking the movie. I believe also Crystal loves this movie. But yeah, that's a topic for, another time, what that movie entails. But it's still a movie about the community, and I'm glad that idols are also open about loving these, forms of media.
Yeah, and I really think it's also very important for them to show it out like this, expressing it, since uh, especially younger students like high school, grade school, they're the ones that usually super fangirl over the idols, and what idols say affects their life. As in, this is a random example, but when Baekhyun and Taeyeon's dating news got out, like people in high school days cried and stopped eating their lunch, and it went super viral. Yeah, as in their smallest actions can affect how those students think and act. So the way of showing their support for this community, yeah, I think it also helps in education as well. Cause I think in Korean schools they don't really talk about this a lot. So at least they can learn it this way, which is kind of sad, but yeah, at least.
Yeah, at least it introduces them to like terms
Mm-mm.
within the community, like what your sexuality is, what your gender identity is, and etc. And like to add lang then to like the discussion about supporting LGBT artists, it like opens also other like listeners of these idols to also support these artists, LGBT artists themselves, and to promote more on like what they're standing for and what they're making music for.
Wait lang. Actually, this is very non-related. Pero I just want to gusto ko lang siya ilabas kasi hindi ko lang kung
Sure.
pwede ba siya isingit. Okay, guys, I'm going to say it again. Stray Kids. Okay, so Stray Kids actually um they started in 2018. And there was actually this day when they were in New York and they went to Pride Month to enjoy. It was really touching. It was really touching. Plus, until now, like for example, Pride Month, ganon. Bang Chan, eto, Bang Chan, the leader. He's, di ba he weekly does his lives. So no, there was this one time during Pride Month na he talked about expressing yourself and, accepting yourself. So it was like really touching. Plus, may mga in our fandom stays, maraming, and I guess this goes out to other fandoms as well. But during video call fan signs, you know, there are a lot of fans who out themselves in front of their idols. And then to mention na lang, Felix of Stray Kids then. There was this video na nag-viral sa fandom namin because he directly said to the fan na he supports the community. So it was like, yes, get that.
My
Ayan. I
That's so
know.
sweet.
Ayun. Yun lang naman. Yun lang yung gusto kong ilabas because, I'm really proud of them. They're doing what they
Yeah,
can.
it shows the new impact of these idols towards like people ourselves, like young people na parang they're comfortable enough to open up about their sexuality to them, and just shows na parang they're figures that they are respected figures, and that them setting an example of supporting the LGBT community is a big thing to like people like us.
I also wanted to point out how I'm glad that idols realize that they have a platform and they have the responsibility to be able to influence and set an example for their fans, as mentioned by Amy and also opened by Sofia and Nerissa. It's important that they know that they that while they are here out in the industry, so that they can perform and live out their dreams, they're also catering to a lot of people that actually look up to them. So it's important that they also carry out their responsibility by being an example or role model. And even though it's not part of their job description, for those idols that are able to, carry out the message that way and be able to provide a safe space for their fans to understand or be truly themselves, is important actually. And that's also another form of representation right there. So with that, we learned today about the LGBTQ plus community in South Korea. So for our final discussion, what effect does globalization have on queer representation in Korean media?
Okay, so like my thoughts on this is that although globalization does play a big role, especially with like international audiences being able to influence like idols on like calling them out on like their behavior and stuff, and also like being more open to the ideas of sexuality and gender representation, I think what we should highlight as well are like the grassroots movements also in Korea, trying to pave the way for their own citizens to be more open and accepting towards the community. So yun nga, like although globalization paves the way for like opening lines and connections with more people, and bringing out more perspectives regarding sexuality, gender, etc., I think it's more important to give recognition and to boost and empower even more the grassroots movements of like LGBT equality rights in Korea, and be able to like let the people in the community speak for themselves and be able to empower these people. So with that, I think allyship is also important in this discussion. That's what we have mentioned earlier, and as what we have proven. Like K-pop idols are allies to the community. They have been supportive throughout with their actions and what they have been saying and doing and performing. And so that's why we love and give so much respect to these people, because not only they are letting other people know that it's okay to be this way, it's okay to love whoever you want to love, but it's also telling people, oh, this is normal. Like this isn't something that should be an issue or it shouldn't be a part of concern. So ayun, it like shows, it highlights the new social responsibility nila as like culture bearers of in the country. So ayun.
Well said, Miss So. Miss Amy.
Yeah. For me, I think globalization surely affected the queer representation in Korean media. However, some lots of the cases, it's used for their marketing strategies right now. Because, as an example, they introduce a foreign queer media to Korea. Then, if it gets a good reaction, then they'll transform it to one of the contents in Korea just to like refreshen their image or earn more money. But I think that's also part of the movement, even if they're doing it just for money, because it still makes a change. And to be honest, lots of Koreans still have this conception, as in, but we're Korea. Like, they usually say this when they're like, oh, in America they do this, in other countries they do this, but they'll go like, but we're not there. We're here in Korea, so you have to follow the rules in Korea, since like those kinds of opinions are still popular. But I think yung singers from other countries din who are very open affects. Wait lang, sorry. Hello?
Go lang.
Okay.
You're
You
still
guys
here.
stopped for me for a while. Okay. Yes. Yeah.
Tuloy.
Since lots of people started listening to pop music as well, and of course, when you listen to music, you kind of want to get to know about the lyrics, and people get to be more open about it na. But what I'm worried about is older generations, because they aren't really affected by these idols or like exposure sa media. I actually like heard them one time talking about it, like, I don't know why bromance thing is trending on films right now, kanyan. And I'm like, bromance thing? What? And okay, this is random, but to be honest, I was kind of worried because I'm interested in LGBTQIA issues in Korea, and I'm supportive about it, but I'm not that like super into idols or like media type of LGBTQA. I was more focused on the movements of the group itself. But after today's discussion, I really think media's role is really important na. Yeah, wala lang, randomly mentioning
Wow.
it.
Wow, that's okay.
See, this is a very educational
Yeah.
platform where we can learn from each other. Okay, actually, I found it funny a while ago na despite it being a marketing strategy, it still kind of works even though the intention isn't there. I just had this funny idea na, joke's on you, it's still helping us. So,
Yeah. Actually.
right? So, if any one of those companies are actually, against the movement, but they're using it to bait us, then hello. You're only clowning yourselves. So that was pretty funny. Else, yeah, actually, I also find it pretty sad na despite us, being the younger generation, of course, we would be hooked on media and we would be really exposed to it. So the effect is stronger on us, and if there are any positive effects, it will be on us. However, because the older generations aren't really that much consuming of the media, and they don't really most of them do not really have the time to educate themselves about it. They're just just seeing that, like you said, na parang why is there a lot of bromance trending in stories right now. And I find it quite problematic because at the end of the day, it's the older generation that still they have a stronghold on legislation. They also have a stronghold on the younger generation, on how they're being raised, which also could in turn affect us in a way that, intergeneration trauma is, very big on how, we are being raised just because we are a certain thing or a certain kind of way of identifying ourselves. So the most the important figures that are supposed to be more aware, well, not really more aware, but in general they also have a very strong power over a lot of people. So I guess that's also something to be addressed, that the older generation should be educated about the matter and not just those that are, you know, our generation, because it entails a lot of things. Yeah, exactly.
Because like this
It's
whole road of acceptance of LGBTs is like a long road ahead. It's like you have to be very patient with like the people that we're talking to, and we shouldn't like shun people out just because like they view differently than us. Rather, we should like be accepting towards them and also like understand where they're coming from, and that's when we can actually talk to them and be able to like understand why they think this way, and like get rid of their biases or prejudice, so that we can all be one happy loving country and family.
and actually that is the best way to actually end our discussion, because that's the basic premise of everything. Just let us love everyone. Like, why hate? Let's just all love, and the world would be a better place, and it's way easier to love than hate. So
Our life is so short, pa. Like,
exactly.
we have no time to hate. We're gonna die soon, so. Yeah.
So I guess with that we can now move on to our song recommendations. Okay, so for our song recommendations, our last song recommendation segment for
Aww.
Kaja. So our song recommendation will be based on our theme for today, which is on the LGBTQ community. So who would like to start? I'm shivering. Okay. Sige, ako na lang. Okay, actually, I would like to recommend. I was saving this song, like, I wanted to recommend it, like, in the earlier episodes. Miss Sophia actually wanted to recommend this, but she gave it to me. I love you, Miss So. It is Stay Tonight by Chonga, and I am mentioning this because it is actually a very, very meaningful song to the community, basically because of the performance wherein they actually featured voguing, which is a kind of dance style, and it's actually important not just to the LGBT community but also the Black and Latino LGBT community, which means a lot in a way that even I loved how Chonga actually let the queens, like, they were the dancers that performed alongside Chonga, and this is, well, on its own it's already representation. I remember this very one of my favorite YouTubers actually reacted to the music video, and when, oh my god, the tears are back. Okay, when he saw that the queens were out there in high heels and voguing for their life, it actually, I could see how it really meant a lot to that YouTuber. Yes, it was it was Rafi. Yes, it was Rafi. And I could feel the tears, and even I was pretty choked up when I saw it. It was like, oh my god. Yes. So meaningful. So I'm glad that Chongha brought that in. So yeah. Stream Stay Tonight. It's a beautiful song as well. So yeah, that's my song recommendation. what about you?
To follow up, like something like I'm not. This is not like my official song recommendation. But like if you want to explore other K-pop, like doing voguing or or like whacking or other like LGBT styles, there's also La Dita by
Yes!
Angelo.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah, yeah, so they were just voguing the whole time. My girlies, oh, chef's kiss. But anyway, the song that I would like to recommend for this one is actually from BTS. It's a solo song by Namjoon called Trivia Love. So like for me, it's just a celebration of love and like being like the love that everyone has. Like you erode my edges and turn me into love. Because you know the
Oh, so it's
Hangul
that
for like
one.
yeah, because like the Hangul for like people is like has a box, and then when you like make it into a circle, it translates to love, and you know it's so meaningful for me because like love is like it's just love. There's no like for me at least like there's no gender as to like how you love someone, so it's like really nice and important to be aware and be like recognize that love is for everyone and there's no shame in loving and everyone should love everyone. That's like the main premise of this whole episode.
Naiyak tuloy ako. I really love that song.
I was like, oh, that I forgot.
Naiyak talaga ako. I love that song so much. Like,
For me, can I actually like recommend the cover stage?
go.
Go ahead.
And actually, nowadays AUA had lots of issues, so
Mm.
I was kind of torn if I should still go with it. But I still love the
I
stage.
know about this one.
Yeah, because in one program called Queendom, they covered a
Mhm.
song of Mamamoo called Ego Stick. And that's where they broke all the gender stereotypes. As in, the guy dancers were voguing and showing, showing off. And in the middle, there's a sound effect where they parang break the glass ceiling that's present in society right now. And I almost, yeah,
Oh my god.
yeah. I watched that stage like more than 10 times, I think. I'm so sad about the issue that happened, but yeah, I love how they're all wearing suits, especially when AOA was known for a sexy group wearing tight clothes. But that's where they showed their own ideas, and they also said that this was the stage that we wanted to do so far, like in our idol lives, and it's really empowering. I promise. You have to watch it. Okay,
I
so
watched
that
it
was
on-
my song recommendation.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
believe they were actual drag queens that were with them on
Yeah.
stage.
And since Kingdom was a popular program at that time, it really exposed them to the media. And actually, people were like, "This is cool!" Like more than like, they were like, "Ooh, they look cool." Their performances were really nice, and it feels nice to not be humorized, but like showing themselves as an I mean using drag as an expression of their identity talaga.
Ayun. So, for me naman, okay, gusto ko yung ang dami niyong nasabi when you ang dami niyong nasabi for each song recommendation, but I guess I'm just gonna keep mine short. So, for me, well, there's actually a lot of songs na, yun nga, na represent ng community. Pero for me, guys, it's time to listen to Holland. So, I recommend Holland Neverland. It's his first song. Yeah, it's his first song. Ayun. I don't know how to explain it like deeper like what you guys have. But yeah, for me, I guess yun ang masasabi ko, guys. Listen to Holland's Neverland and the rest of the story is history. Ayan!
Wow.
Alright. Alright, so moving on, we've asked our netizens on Aja Animo's socials, how are famous personalities in the Korean industry or in general helpful in representing the LGBTQIA plus community?
A lot. So we've collected lots of responses for this question, and I'm excited to read their answers. And actually, the guests are also with us in reading some of their chosen comments.
Yes, all right. Let's get right to our Q&A sharing. Amy, take it away with your
Yeah,
choice.
alright. So, this is a comment by Bettina Dabu. Oh my god, your name is cute. Anyway, so she commented, they transcend common gender stereotypes, especially when it comes to men doing skincare and using makeup. But in terms of representing the LGBTQA plus community, considering how older generations in Korea are still very conservative, these artists who advocate for this community and accept or are within the community give them a voice in their society. I believe it's still a hard topic to discuss so openly in their country, but with these famous personalities in the Korean industry, they're slowly making progress into making the community more openly accepted, as it should. And idols and soloists are more vocal about this, and it's kind of making me proud as a fan or supporter because they're slowly breaking the walls and putting out an important message that everyone should be able to love whoever they want and be who they want to be.
Yes, Queen Bettina.
Bettina, best girl.
Yeah. This is so true. So I wanted to
Yeah.
I'd like to introduce this into our podcast because, yeah, after all, like idols and younger generations being vocal and supportive, it's very true that older generations have a long way to go
True.
for this. But I guess it's us who change the word. So if we be more vocal about it and change the flow of the society, as in what's accepted as normal and abnormal, because it will eventually affect the older generations as well.
True.
I especially like what you mentioned about, because of the culture that we know about idols using skincare and makeup despite it. Well, not really despite, but because for people, that's what they would say. That, men are using makeup. So, wow, usually it's the girls that are wearing makeup. Which that's something that they have introduced in trying to break that norm. I mean, Hello Stray Kids is out there endorsing Cleo, and they're all idols, like all male idols, we know that they wear makeup on stage and they look beautiful.
True.
So
Yeah.
like you can wear whatever you want, you can do whatever you want, and there's
Actually,
nothing wrong with having clean skin. That's all I really want to say as well. Like,
Yes.
hello men, it doesn't take away any inch of your manhood for you to be clean. Like, at least they smell nice. Like, what about you? You skincare.
Oh my god, relate. I like guys with clear skin din, kaya,
Oh!
why?
Oh, take note, take
Yeah,
note.
guys. Tips. Okay. So how about you, Sophia?
Okay, so the comment that I chose was from Joshua Fabricante. He said that I think that famous personalities like Jessie, who are very liberal and vocal compared to others, are really a big help. Look how touch Sokchon was here, and I think it was an interview. It's from YouTube, so that is why we should all stand Jessie. Period. So he's also promoting other MVs such as Sistar, One More Day, K Will, Please Don't, and other music videos by Starship Entertainment, which like showed inclusivity. And what I would like to highlight here in his comment and what I have mentioned na rin earlier is that allyship is also important. So apart from us, members of the community, being able to voice out our concerns, it's also important we have allies here to have our backs and to be with us throughout the way to acceptance. And because of these allies, that's like when we become actually more accepting as a society, and like let people be more open about this, and like let their biases and prejudice be rid of. So ayun. So our hosts, do you have any comments that you would like to say?
So actually, what Sophia said about allyship actually ties into what I'm going to be mentioning, which is a comment from Samantha Lenos. There are quite a few idols who have shown their support to the LGBT community, even the smallest gestures like wearing clothes related to pride, reading books about same-sex love, or just by holding flags given to them by fans at their concerts. I'm sure you've heard of Vernon, my baby, sorry, that wasn't part of the comment, from 17. When they had their Build interview in New York, someone asked if he had any kind words towards the Carrots who are part of the community, and he said that he hopes that we can make the world a better place. And another member, Dino, was asked, I like you, but I'm a man. What should I do? Otoke. And he said to not be ashamed of liking him because he is grateful for the love and support no matter what you may be. I guess one of the ways they've been helpful is the assurance that they give to their fans that love is something that you should not be ashamed of no matter who you are. Korea is still conservative regarding this topic, but the fact that idols like 17 are open to talking about this topic means that they are very much open-minded, and this creates a domino effect in creating a healthy discourse. Couldn't have said it any better. She basically wrapped up everything that we had to say in the podcast. And it's true. You know, allyship, again, as mentioned by Sophia, is actually a really important part of the community, and trying to get the word out there, trying to, like, the smallest bit of support already means a lot, and could already open doors for better acceptance in the world and in society. So I'm glad that these, similar to what Nerissa mentioned about Felix, I'm glad that, we also have idols like Hansel and Dino showing that, I love you. Like, I love you whatever you are. I think, ayun, that's another thing. Like, for idols to openly say na, yes, you can love me. Like, what what's the matter with that? Like, you can love me despite whoever you are, whatever you identify as. So that's really empowering, and what probably if I were the fan, I would be really, really happy that, oh, you love me as who I am. So really glad about that. Miss Nerissa, what about yours?
Ayan. So actually, napaka-short ng comment nila. So special mention na lang din since last episode na to. From Camille Yu, the president. She mentioned Jockwon. Okay, we've talked about Jockwon a lot of times. Without a doubt, Dancing with Heels. And then, for Vito Santino Buenaventura, is when Twice pleaded to JYP to let them perform Born This Way in one of their concerts, which actually was approved, and they performed it. Wow. Wow. I think it wasn't a concert. Wasn't it a award show? I'm not sure.
Part
But
of their concert. Like, it was a unit thing. I don't remember who was a part of it, but they were like three of them singing and dancing to it.
oh, well, actually in JYP, maraming idols din na nag-perform like gender stereotype performances. So, JYP, umayos kayo at wag nyo nang ipaplead yung mga artists nyo. Let them do what they want, okay? Ayan. And, ayan, as mentioned by our project head, yun nga, during JYP Nation's concert, they also performed Hush, which was performed by 3 male members and then 2 Miss A members. Ayun. Special mention na lang din yan. And yeah, I guess with my 3 fellow kasama here, ang dami na nilang na-mention. But here, I'm sad to say that that's all for the Q&A that we have right now. A big thank you to everyone who posted their comments. And before we wrap up. Oh, before we wrap up, we will give the floor once again to our guests to say their closing remarks. Who wants to go first? Sophia or Amy?
Sophia.
Okay, thanks for deciding for me because I cannot decide. I have no preferences whatsoever. So thank you first and foremost to Aja Animo for giving us the opportunity to be able to talk about this in your podcast. It has been such a pleasure to be talking with the likes of Amy, Dana, and Nerissa about this topic because I've learned so much and I've reflected a lot as well with regards to this topic, and I just hope that better days are to come to us in the community and also to us K-pop loving fans. Let's go. So yeah, ayun, shout out na rin to my friend Sandy. Hi, she asked me to shout out her girl. So, ayun, hi girl, I love you.
Hi, Sandy.
Ayun. She's interested. If anyone's interested, let me know in the comments down below. So ayun, okay, Miss Amy, your turn.
Okay, so I'd like to say thank you, Din, for inviting me here as a guest. I think I really learned a lot while talking with you guys as well. And also, I got to analyze more problems about the viewpoints in Korea. And lastly, I think my mom asked her to mention me, but not sure if she's gonna understand this because she doesn't speak English. But
You can speak Korean.
안녕하세요, 어머니.
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
yeah, 엄마 또 나왔어. Okay, anyway.
어머니, pupunta po kami sa bahay nyo in Korean.
Ay. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna relay that message to my mom after.
Thank you. Tita, pag Pride Month, we're gonna go there.
Yeah.
Yeah!
Yeah, anyways, I really hope this can reach to the older generations and big corporations in Korea. And I really hope the community LGBTQIA community in Korea, they can be more openly discussed and expressed in a way by these movements that you're making. So thank you so much for leading me. I've been so and sabog. You guys led me so well. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you to our amazing guests for a lively discussion. It is our honor to guide you despite our sabogness, as
True.
mentioned by Amy. I hope our listeners enjoyed this episode and maybe even learned some new things.
True. I actually enjoyed talking about a lot of things. Wow, coming from you guys, especially for me. Hi, Dad. Good luck na lang. don't question me after this podcast. But yes, thank you to my lovely podcasters for making giving me new information about the community. Because for me, I've been a fan of BL and shipping too, and I've learned a lot from you guys on what in the future I should do and not do. Yes, so that's it for me. What about you, Dana?
For me, dahil our two guests were doing some shout-outs. I find this funny because they were the first
Nag-shoutout
guests
din ako sa dad ko.
Oo nga eh. So ako din, gusto ko na mag-shoutout. Okay, so I also want to give a shout-out to my best friend, Mary, who has been constantly listening to each episode despite our very busy schedule, which is like no joke because our episodes are like an hour long. So thank you very much for supporting me along the way. Char. And also to my parents, if you've reached this part of the podcast, which I am hoping that you did not reach this part of the podcast. But if ever that you guys didn't listen to my warning a while ago to close the window, yes, I am gay. So I hope this won't be the way I would come out to you guys. But oh well, if you ever listen to it, yeah, that's that. And see you at dinner, I guess.
Same naman, Miss Dana.
So yeah, I'm also very thankful that I was able to talk about this, like one of my biggest advocacies, to very lovely ladies, Nerissa, Sofia, and Amy. I definitely learned a lot, and there couldn't have been a safer space that I could discuss all of this than you guys. So thank you so much for this lovely time.
Yes, virtual hug, everyone. Virtual
Virtual
hug.
hug.
Yay! Okay, nag-hug kami, guys. Sa mga nakikinig, nag-hug kami. Alright, now since this is our 5th and last episode of the Aja Kaja podcast, we would like to thank you for supporting us from the first episode up to now.
That's right. We would also like to thank our guests once again who have made our discussions highly engaging and eye-opening.
We hope you've learned a lot about Aja Animo and Korean culture through this podcast. If you want to know more about K-pop, K-drama, and everything related to Korean culture, you can check out Aja Animo's social media handles.
You can follow our Instagram at Aja Animo and like our Facebook page, Aja Animo.
Thanks for tuning in, Yorobun. Again, this has been Nerissa Flores.
And Dana C signing off from the Aja Kaja podcast. 감사합니다.
감사합니다.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not represent those of the organization, the university, and its stakeholders.